All right, gentlemen, quick review of the work we did this past Tuesday. Our work from a medium block defending, focus being the tight team. So the objectives again for the session, want to improve the team's ability to maintain that tight team from a medium block. And then more implicitly, we are also looking at the transition pieces. So improve our decision making in that transition to attack from a medium block. So the focus of the review will be on this training exercise. So shown in the image, we focused on those pressing traps in the width. I did want to highlight the shape of the team as we provide cover for that press. So we're really aggressive around the ball, but the actions of the others around it were probably not where we needed it to be. The first one, we'll start with the striker. His job as he sits, again, he shifts over, and you'll see some of the highlights. The strikers do well to get over and really lock into that space, but he serves dual roles. So in this case, we ask him to be able to help and cut out the switch between the center backs if possible, but also be able to back press onto the holding mid. So come from behind and apply pressure so that the holding mid can't swing the ball and exit as well. The midfield line provides coverage for that initial aggressive press. So you can see the shape. As we worry about getting too flat in one pass beating us, this layered approach to the midfield line helps that, and then the back line does something similar. So the first one is we're going to look at an example of something we need to improve at, and an example of the type of passes we want to cut out. So right away, the right center back from the other team is able to find that pass. What we're going to focus on is the shape of our left winger and how he can cut that ball out but still be able to get to the width. So here we would want the winger to be slightly deeper. A couple of steps backwards allows him more time to read the pass, to cut it out, and if the center back then decides to play wide, he's got the angle to get out and press it and lock it in. We also highlight the position of the holding mid. So it's not just the left winger who's responsible for that space. The holding mid cuts that space a bit and is able to help and squeeze in there. Another example, or another positive from this example, is our holding mid, Samo in this case, as Dom steps as the attacking mid to jump the ball, he's moved forward to reduce the space in between. So a good example of how we can reduce that space for them to play. The next one is a good example of what we're trying to do as far as our actions, our aggression as the ball moves. So that line of confrontation, as soon as it's played in that space, we're aggressive. Sirmido gets across, cuts it, but they play back out the other way. No harm is done. Dribble again, really tight on the pressure. Plays negative, we reset. Dom resets again. Again, it's always about keeping that space tight. Lionel does a good job of cutting that ball out centrally, and now we can be aggressive. And though that first player gets beat a bit, we're still able to squeeze it and break. So if we look at probably one of the positives, if we looked at the prior where we said we wanted our left winger to be a little bit deeper to squeeze that pass out, here's an example of where Lionel had really good position as a left winger. And why I'm highlighting this is he waited for the pass. His aggressive movement to the width didn't happen until the ball was released by the opposition's player. And you can see now his eyes, we've shifted across, our holding mids cut out that ball inside. All the movements from our team in the midfield line are going backwards, and this allows us to cover those passes inside as the ball travels across. Another positive of this is our decision in transition. So Dom was able to win the ball. We were able to win it, get a quick pass, and Dom's facing forward. This is those moments where we start to read the cues of the game. So we're looking at where do we have numbers, where do we have space. In this case, we did be able to break forward. We weren't able to successfully score the goal. I would suggest that based on the numbers and based on our positioning, this is probably the space we wanted to get to on the counter. So the defending work was good. We were able to get a pass forward. Again, recognizing where's our numbers in our space. And in this case, it's typically opposite of where we've won the ball. And our good defensive shape has allowed us then to break going forward in good ways. So if you look at us positionally, we're in a good place to be able to break forward. Our right winger, Mido in this case, has time and space. He's got the advantage, especially with the opposition's left back forward. This is the space that we'd want to get into. Another positive example here is this action. So as he locked in, now the difference in this one is, as we watch again, we weren't able to get across, and their left back was a little bit deeper, so we weren't able to really squeeze it up against the sideline. What we were, though, is able to get the numbers down on the ball. So Stevie comes down on the ball as it's played past him, and we double up and we win the ball. And then we're able to quickly break and go to goal. So watch it again. You know, sometimes positioning is not perfect. They play the ball, but then Stevie comes in with the right back, and we're able to lock it into that space, and we quickly break and go forward. So it's another good example. What we are going to highlight is some concerns here with the shape beyond the press. So like I said, we did a really good job at triggering the pressure and the speed to press on the width, but we've got to look elsewhere. So the big concern here is this open space. So as you can see, we got our numbers around the ball, but based on our positioning, if they're able to escape this pressure, we leave not only the striker with space in front of our back line, but their backside attacking mid, Dom in this case. So what we would ask is the other attacking mid to drop and provide depth. Right now, that attacking mid is man-focused on their holding mid, which I understand because we don't want them to switch. If that player drops in, we have the striker, as we noted before, who can help with that holding mid. So in this case, I believe it's Artie. If he drops 3 or 4 more yards, he can help protect that space or where Dom wants to play. But then he can also get stepped out on the holding mid with the help of the back pressing striker to deny that. So guys, hopefully you saw a few good examples that gave us some clarity on what we're asking you to do. And, this will continue to improve with time, but I thought our aggression and our seeing the triggers improved greatly in this past session. So we'll continue to sharpen it.